Hello, I'm Andy Lee Graham, and it's a new era of my travels. I've traveled nonstop for 25 plus years. I've lived abroad for 25 plus years and in 114 countries. Um, I'm changing my whole world, okay? I'm no longer going to tell you which hotels I'm staying in. I'm no longer going to make it easy for you to write me and talk to me, call me, or anything like that. I'm going to basically become the only reason why I'm actually showing my face is because I believe that the only way you can tell if a person's honest is by seeing their face and them telling your full name. Anybody that doesn't tell you their full name and won't show you their face, for sure, is trying to hide something. And most people they're on an agenda to be clickbait. Okay, I want to talk today about my goal, which has always been my goal for the last 25 years, and that is the end of the acquisition of wealth. I stopped trying to acquire wealth over 25 years ago when I started traveling, and the reason is and if you look at my YouTube channel, I've changed it to Andy Lee Graham, 375 square feet. Okay, what I'm trying to talk about there is three different people. Well, basically the end of acquisition of wealth. And I want to stop people from hoarding. I want them to stop thinking that a car is the end of everything. That wages, being a wage slave, working your whole life for 30 years is for the person that is not that doesn't want to be an overachiever. They want to be a cog in the wheel. The person that works 30 years of their life for an organization, to me, is just a cog in the wheel. Okay, wage slaves. I want you to break from this religion. It's like a religion. The hoarding, the cars, the house, the wage slave, to me, it's kind of like a religion where you have to fit in by doing it. And that's what a religion does, right? All of this seems like maybe to some of you something new, but it's really been my way of life since I was age 16 when I read Henry David Thoreau's Walden Pond. On Walden Pond, he lived on a Walden Pond, and he proved as an experiment to prove that you could work like I don't know, four days a month or something like that. He had a section of economy, basically saying the less work you do for society, the better it is for society. But the end of acquisition of wealth. Okay, I was a philosophy major in university. I have always been trying to be in the idea of philosophy. The word philosophy, a philosopher is a person that has a clear and sustained effort to think clearly. Basically, they're trying to strive for the truth, which is really tough because we have so many self-deceptions and denials and things like that. It's a commitment to thinking clearly. That's what a philosophy is. But with this new era that came in, I can say that I can really simply, for the last 10 years, I've sort of edited myself a little bit, and I haven't called a person an idiot. I haven't called a person, I haven't basically given you my true opinions on everything I see. I don't want to cause anybody to feel weak, okay? I don't want anybody to feel weak, but I do, in this era, what we have a lack of is people willing to say that, President Biden he's not an idiot, but he's old and he's basically befuddled. And we need a new president, and this guy is basically destroying the United States. I'm not going to call him an idiot because you don't become an idiot by becoming president of the United States. But he is definitely outlived he's too old to function, right? But I do want you to discover when you're intelligent or when you're being stupid. And that's how we learn. We don't learn by only saying the good about something. We say the pros and cons. And the reason why I'm calling my basically Elon Musk, uh, Nikola Tesla, Henry David Thoreau, all lived in places like Henry David Thoreau lived in a one-room cabin on Walden Pond. It's in Massachusetts. It's in the state of Massachusetts, close to Boston. Elon Musk is living in a 375 square foot house, a small house. Nikola Tesla lived in a hotel room. I think it might have been kind of a luxurious one. But the basic reason I want to point this out is because what they do is the same thing I've been doing for 25 years, which is more or less my take on Henry David Thoreau. If you live in a one-room hotel, like I live in a one-room hotel, I have a kitchen, I have common areas, I have things that are more than just my room, but I don't want to become a maintenance man, okay? I have zero desire to be a maintenance man where I spend my whole time taking care of things. I was laughing, my sister was just talking about some repairs they did on their house, and every time I talk to an American, they talk about all the things they're doing to their house, and it really, to me, is not the goal of life, okay? The goal of life isn't to be able to only talk about what you buy for your house, where you go eat and get fat. I mean, when somebody starts talking about the food they're eating and the restaurants they're going to all the time, I don't mind them bringing it up and talking about it for a couple minutes. But when they talk about it daily, I really lose kind of respect for them because they're basically in a debaucherous way of living. But what would you do? I'm gonna word this in a reverse kind of way. What would you do if you wanted to talk to Joe Biden? What would you do if you wanted to talk to Elon Musk? What would you do if you wanted to talk to Nikola Tesla, Henry David Thoreau, Joe Rogan, Seth Godin, Benjamin Franklin, Jordan Peterson? Here's a list of people that I respect. You'd have to become educated. And what would stop you from becoming educated? It would be the houses, the cars, and the motorcycles and all these things you buy and going to eat all the time, and the maintenance of something more than 375 square feet. I love living in a small place, and I love only having a backpack for the last 25 years. It has set me completely free from being a wage slave or anything like that. But what you need to do to be able to talk to these people is be intelligent enough, articulate enough to get in the room. How do you do that? It takes a lot of time to enjoy learning. But don't get me wrong. I believe 95% of people just need to put in their time, okay? They need to go to work, and they do it. But there's 5% of us that want to live a special life, and we consider the life we live very important. I consider life very, very important. I have a second chance after basically destroying my life with, I guess I could tell people now I'm a recovering alcoholic. Haven't drank for 37 years. And I don't want emails, anybody, I know how to block everybody. I have no desire to have feedback from you. I have a desire if you can send me a very, very inquisitive question or things like that. I like to think about problems because that's what I do, because I have only less than 375 square feet to maintain. I have plenty of time. I have an overabundance of time. And I've had that for the last 25 plus years. Okay, I have time to learn because I live in a hotel room less than 300, the same as Elon Musk, the same as Nikola Tesla, the same as Henry David Thoreau. Why did these guys write so much? Why did I think 4,000 inventions by Nikola Tesla? It's because he focused on what was his priority in life. No, don't get me wrong. there's nothing wrong with you having a high priority of being a wage slave and spending your whole life working. I don't want to hear about it. Okay, I don't want really to listen to your stories because it doesn't really mean anything. It's nothing really special getting a job and working 30 years. Okay. I've had 25 years of not being a maintenance man for living because I don't live in a room bigger than a hotel room. People try to get me to move into apartments, and I won't do it. Why? Because there's too much time consumed in my day dealing with creature comforts. Okay, but I'm a Trekkie. Okay, and I've watched almost every single Star Trek there is, whether it's a television show or one of the TV series. But they asked Jean-Luc Picard in the show. Let's see, what TV show was it? In this the film Star Trek: First Contact in 1996, Jean-Luc Picard. He says his whole name, right? That's what captains do. The captains of the world say their full name. Don't write me with just your first name. I won't reply ever. I want to know who you are in some context. Okay, but he says in the thing, the acquisition of wealth is no longer the driving force of our lives. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity. And that's what happens after you get rid of the house, the car, the obsession for acquisition of wealth. Thank you, Jean-Luc Picard. I'll put all these notes in the description so that you can kind of go figure it out. I say my full name, Andy Lee Graham, because in the acquisition of knowledge and wealth, you don't get it from idiots that are anonymous. You don't get it from trolls. My goal in life is really to lay on the beach. When I left the United States, it was to lay on the beach in Mexico and read a book on my Kindle Paperwhite. Okay, Paperwhite you can see in direct sun. These other ones, these backlit ones, I don't like to read a book where I could actually get tempted to surf. Okay, I'm here and you're not. Why not? I'm Andy Lee Graham. Please don't write me. I don't want I do this because, like Jordan Peterson said, how do you learn to be articulate? The way you learn to be articulate is by talking and explaining something in a clear and concise way, or writing. That's how you do it. But the benefit of writing a journal or writing a video is, to me, greater for me than it is for you, because while I'm talking this through, I'm taking these abstract, fuzzy ideas and bringing them into reality. This is a new era for Andy Lee Graham. I'm planning some major trips now that I don't have to babysit the idiots on Everyday Hobo. I was really embarrassed by some of the things they did. Really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. Some of the members, they have it's like children. Okay, life is good, guys. And think about downsizing to 375 square feet or less. You might find you're free. Einstein said the three factors that control people is what? Fear, greed, and money. No, I don't know. Fear and greed was the big ones. Okay, but Einstein's got some really great quotes on how to live. And I really would like you to think about Henry David Thoreau's experiment, where he lives and proves that you don't need much money to live on. I'm living in a hotel on a beautiful lake, on one of the most beautiful lakes on the planet, spending $200 a day, while you are sitting in New York City, Chicago, Atlanta, working, trying to get work done every day. I try to find things to do every day. Try to figure out new movies, new books to read, new people to talk to, ways to do it. I've written 2 new books in the last 6 months, and I'll start talking about soon is when I can somehow display the book covers. I don't actually have a copy of the book with me because I'm a traveler. Okay, thank you. Life is good.